Every fan base has its blind spots. We cling to potential, we romanticize grit, we speak of next year as if it's destiny carved in stone. But behind the scenes in Cleveland, a theory is quietly gaining traction, and if it proves true, you'd better strap in, because by the time the 2026 draft rolls around, the entire landscape could be unrecognizable. According to ESPN's Matt Miller, the Browns could be barreling toward the NFL basement. His bold projection? Cleveland finishes dead last this season and secures the #1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. And let's not sugarcoat it. That kind of collapse sends seismic waves through an organization, especially when 2 rookie quarterbacks are already on the roster. Here's the cold, unfiltered truth. Gabriel was taken in the 3rd round. Sanders, early 5th. They're respectable investments, not franchise-altering jackpots. Scouts saw flashes, but also flaws. The type of player they would like to make, and who Paul. And if Cleveland ends up with one of the league's worst records, it's not just a statement on pass protection or defensive lapses. It's a glaring indictment of quarterback performance. And when that happens, front offices don't blink. They plan with cold precision. No sentiment, no second chances, just ruthless recalibration. Which brings us to a familiar crossroads. Enter Cade Klubnik. Clemson's standout quarterback is already being spotlighted as a potential #1 pick in 2026. And Matt Miller believes if the Browns land that top spot, Klubnik could be the crown jewel they pursue. Imagine that. 2 freshly drafted quarterbacks already in the building. And Cleveland still goes all in on another signal caller just a year later. Why? Because in this league, quarterbacks aren't viewed as long-term assets. They're short-term insurance policies. And unless one of these rookies seizes the locker room, commands the huddle, and produces results, a new name could be stitched on the jersey faster than fans can adjust. So what do you think? Is Cade Klubnik the answer, or just another name in the endless cycle of Browns quarterback experiments? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're serious about staying one step ahead of the Browns' future, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the next headline might rewrite everything you thought you knew. Most people believe NFL success is about raw talent or viral highlight reels, but often it's about one thing: who knows how not to lose. In a league addicted to theatrics, one team may be quietly building something rooted in discipline, structure, and precision. And when the dust settles, it might be the most underestimated move of the entire season. Every quarterback has a favorite receiver, but what fans often forget is coaches have favorite quarterbacks too. Kevin Stefanski isn't just selecting a player. He's choosing a co-strategist for the weekly chess match that is professional football. His offense thrives on rhythm, timing, and orchestration. He doesn't want chaos behind center. He wants a conductor. And that's why insiders close to the team believe he's quietly leaning toward one specific name. A player who checks every schematic box, even if he won't dominate SportsCenter on Sunday nights. Enter Kenny Pickett. He's not a social media sensation. He's a stabilizer, and Stefanski knows it. Pickett is the embodiment of win-with. He may not carry the offense solo, but he advances the ball methodically, one decisive throw at a time. Stefanski's system isn't built for reckless freelancing. It's built for quarterbacks who read, react, and remain on script. And Pickett has proven time and again that he's capable of exactly that. Cleveland's identity, run heavy with deceptive play action and calculated personnel shifts, doesn't require a hero. It demands execution. With 12 and 13 personnel on the field, Stefanski manipulates defensive matchups. He doesn't need flash, he needs consistency. And that's where Pickett thrives. Despite all the criticism he's weathered, he's consistently shown the mental fortitude and tactical discipline to operate within the structure. So the question becomes, do the Browns gamble on an unproven rookie, or trust the quiet competitor who's outlasted the noise? Let us know. If you were calling the shots from Berea, who gets the nod under center? And if you want more smart, deep dive breakdowns of the moves shaping your team's future, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell, because the next move might be the one that changes everything. There's a dangerous pattern forming in Cleveland, one we've seen too many times before. One day, you're the golden boy. The next, everyone's questioning whether you were ever truly built for the spotlight. Fans are tired of empty promises and wasted potential. They want winners. They want discipline. They demand leadership. But what happens when the most talked about rookie flashes brilliance and recklessness before even taking his first NFL snap? On June 5th, the Ohio State Patrol pulled over Shedeur Sanders for speeding. And not just a few miles over, he was clocked at a blistering 91 miles in a 65 zone. For a rookie trying to earn trust in a new city, this was a rough introduction. The Browns were notified quickly. Their official statement downplayed the incident, calling it a personal matter. But fans weren't buying it. Was this just a rookie misstep or a glimpse of something deeper? And then, things got worse. Sanders didn't show up for his court arrangement regarding that first ticket. To long-suffering Browns fans who've endured more quarterback chaos than most franchises combined, this felt like deja vu. Sure, it's just traffic court, but when you're fighting for a spot on the depth chart and trying to build your reputation as a professional, every move matters. Then came June 17th, just days after missing that court appearance. Sanders was pulled over again, this time clocked at a staggering 101 EMPs in a 60 by Strongsville police. The story exploded across local media. Fan forums lit up. Cleveland radio hosts didn't hold back. The question was on everyone's mind. If Sanders can't manage his responsibilities off the field, how can the Browns trust him to lead on it? Ironically, these incidents came just weeks after Sanders signed his 4-year, $4,660,000 0 rookie contract. This wasn't about a $249 0 fine, or even the next one looming at $250 0. This is about perception, about priorities, about character under pressure. So now we ask you, Browns Nation, do you still believe in Shedeur Sanders? Is this just immaturity that he'll outgrow, or a red flag that can't be ignored? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications because this story isn't over, and neither is the fight for QB1. The Cleveland Browns wide receiver situation is quietly evolving into one of the most compelling conundrums of the entire offseason, and it might be time to acknowledge a hard truth. The depth at this position could be a ticking time bomb. Let's break it down. And before jumping to conclusions, stick with me. By the end, you'll realize just how close the Browns are to making a seismic decision that could redefine their entire 2025 campaign. But first, hit that like button to stay locked in on all things Browns. We begin with Jerry Jeudy. On paper, Jeudy seems like a shrewd acquisition, scooped up for a mere 5th and 6th round pick, then re-signed before he even set foot on the practice field in Berea. At the time, Andrew Berry's move was seen as daring, maybe even reckless. But now, it looks calculated, and it's paying dividends. Jeudy is explosive, shifty, and instinctive. If all goes according to plan, he'll be the WR1 this season. But let's have an honest moment. Jeudy isn't invincible. His history with ankle injuries in Denver raises questions. As promising as he is, even he comes with durability concerns. Now let's pivot to Cedric Tillman. And this might sting a bit. There's undeniable love for Tillman, especially from fans who watched him dominate Saturdays at Tennessee. And yes, after Amari Cooper was dealt to Buffalo last year, Tillman saw increased reps and delivered flashes. Real electrifying flashes. But let's not hand him the crown just yet. That concussion he sustained against Pittsburgh, it wasn't a minor knock. It ended his season. That's a major red flag. One more blow like that, and you risk losing your WR2 for weeks, even months, and all of this optimism is built on a tiny sample size. 4 solid games don't always translate into a 17-game breakout campaign. That's a bold and dangerous assumption. After Jeudy and Tillman, the depth chart starts to fray. Mike Woods, sure, he had some exciting training camp moments, but he's coming off an Achilles tear, one of the most brutal injuries for a wide receiver to overcome. David Bell, practically a ghost last year due to a lingering hip injury. And then there's Deontay Johnson. Yes, technically he's on the roster, but let's be real. When was the last time you had any real confidence in him as a consistent contributor? He's bounced from the Ravens to the Texans, both playoff caliber teams, and couldn't stick. That's not bad luck, that's a pattern. And if he couldn't mesh with winning locker rooms, what makes anyone believe he'll suddenly fall in line in Cleveland? So here's the uncomfortable reality. If Jeudy goes down, and God forbid he does, this receiving core might not have the firepower to shoulder the load. And in a season where the Browns are clawing to stay relevant in a brutal AFC, that's a terrifying proposition. So what do you think, Browns faithful? Should Andrew Berry push all his chips in and sign a proven veteran, or is it time to go all in on the youth movement and see what the next generation is truly made of? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The pace blistering. The intensity, unmatched. This wasn't a no-contact walkthrough. This was a statement, a message to the locker room, to the rest of the league, and most importantly to the dog pound. Cleveland is done playing defense. This team is building a new identity, one that throws the first punch. But underneath all this growing momentum is a brewing subplot that cannot be ignored, a storyline that's heating up just as the quarterback battle hits a boil. Enter Shedeur Sanders, the rookie whose draft journey was as turbulent as it was controversial. Once projected as a potential #1 overall pick, Sanders slipped all the way to the 5th round, not because of talent, but because of doubt, concerns about his maturity, his demeanor, his adaptability, and now that narrative just found fresh fuel. Sanders was clocked, doing 101 miles per hour in a 60 zone on I-71 North near Strongsville at 12:24 IE.M. A traffic ticket may not derail a career, but for a young quarterback trying to build credibility, it's a blow. It's not criminal, it won't get him suspended, but it threatens the momentum he's worked so hard to establish. Fox 8 in Cleveland broke the story, and the Browns have yet to respond publicly. A silence that speaks volumes. For a player still earning trust, this is the type of misstep that lingers in film rooms and coaching evaluation. Until now, Sanders had been gaining ground, making a legitimate case with the second team, proving he belonged in the quarterback conversation. He was beginning to distance himself from the chaos of draft night. But this incident reopens old wounds and reignites the most critical question. Can he mature quickly enough to lead an NFL offense? This isn't a career-ending scandal, far from it, but it is a crucial test, one that may determine how short his leash is with the coaching staff and how much confidence he's lost or gained from teammates. And for fans who watched Deshaun Watson struggle behind a leaky offensive line last season, the thought of another quarterback conundrum isn't just frustrating, it's draining. Speaking of that O-line, there's another name you need to have on your radar, Deshaun Jones. While all eyes fixate on the quarterback carousel, the true X factor this season might be the man tasked with protecting the blind side. Dalton Wasserman of PFF didn't mince words when he called out Jones, and we'll dive into that in the next segment. Branded with that label after back-to-back season-ending injuries and surrounded by a group of aging veterans, Deshaun Jones now stands as Cleveland's only youthful pillar on the offensive line. His talent is undeniable, but this season, it's not just about potential. It's about availability, dependability, and leadership. He must be the guy. The pressure is immense. With 2 first-round picks in the 2026 NFL Draft, how the 2025 season plays out could redefine the franchise's trajectory. But to even reach that inflection point, the Browns will need more than headlines. They'll need Jones to stay healthy and Shedeur Sanders to stay locked in. And while the spotlight naturally follows those marquee names, savvy fans should shift their focus to a quiet riser. Cornerback Cameron Mitchell, after logging just 34% of defensive snaps last season, Mitchell has emerged as a dark horse contributor, suddenly poised to become a critical piece of Cleveland's evolving secondary. With Greg Newsome II and Martin Emerson Jr. both entering contract years, Mitchell could very well be the future. And the front office seems to agree. They didn't sign a single cornerback this offseason, not by accident, but by design. That's not just a vote of trust, it's a bold statement of belief. Now, it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because here's the twist. This rebuild isn't just about raw talent, it's about timing, trust, and transformation. The Browns aren't chasing external flash, they're cultivating internal fire. That's why players like Mitchell aren't viewed as backup plans, they're integral to the blueprint. Cleveland is making calculated moves, and the message is clear. The future core might already be in the building. And for a fan base craving stability, that's a beacon of hope. Mitchell's low-key consistency and positional versatility are exactly what this new team identity demands. He doesn't need to go viral, he just needs to be rock solid. And if Cleveland's bet on him proves correct, he might not just be the next man up. He could be the next man to build around, lining up alongside Denzel Ward in a reimagined secondary. This training camp will be the litmus test. But don't expect the road to be smooth. Teams that finish 3-14 don't just flip the switch overnight. There will be mistakes, doubts, growing pains. And the pressure? It's already boiling. And we haven't even reached week 1. Deshaun Watson, assuming he retains the starting role, must elevate his game behind an offensive line still forging its identity. That line must in turn protect well enough for any quarterback to function. The defense must continue to bring heat, but with fewer penalties and more consistency. The coaching staff understands the magnitude of what's at stake. That's why they've torn up the old risk-averse manual, replacing it with fast, physical, full-content sessions. That's why the entire culture is being rebuilt from the ground up. And that's why this training camp may go down as the most pivotal in the Andrew Berry era. Every rep, every meeting, every off-field decision, it all matters. Whether it's Shedeur Sanders proving his maturity and earning a second chance, whether it's Dawan Jones finally proving he can last a full season under pressure, or whether it's Cameron Mitchell emerging from the shadows into a starring role, these aren't off-season side stories. These are the foundations of Cleveland's 2025 campaign. Something feels different this year, not just in Berea, but across the city. It's in the energy of fan forums, in the obsessive scrolling of training camp updates, in the way Cleveland holds its breath with every roster move. This time, it's not about hype, it's about substance. This team is being built with intention, with grit, with vision. So I want to hear from you. Do you believe in this cultural reset? Is Shedeur Sanders worth the patience? Can Dawan Jones and Cameron Mitchell rise under pressure? Drop your take in the comments, which brings us to the heart of the matter. Should the Browns add another wide receiver? This isn't about luxury, it's about survival. Let's explore 3 names that could shift the narrative, starting with one that might surprise you. Amari Cooper, yes, that Amari Cooper, the one they traded to Buffalo. But think about it. If the market's quiet and he sees an opening to reunite with Joe Flacco, the same quarterback who helped him post gaudy numbers last season, why wouldn't he consider coming back?